Hello and welcome everybody. J-Man back for some more reactions here. So we've got kind of a special suggestion day going on today. So Mozfari earned their 50,000 Swiss cheese points request, and so their video is going to be up first, which is going to be Sabaton to Hell and Back. Official music video. We've got the subtitles turned on for this so that we can see what the song is about. That was another request by Mozfari. Thank you, Koosh. And so then the rest of the day is going to be filled out. So we had a couple raffles yesterday and gave out some instant suggestions to 3 people. Their 3 are going to follow. And then our final suggestion is going to be from Avery Santos, who is my longest follower on Twitch. She's been hanging around with me since I started streaming in the beginning days. If you guys are interested in watching gaming streams, Avery does a whole lot of different games. She plays a lot of games similar to the kinds that I play. She plays some Dark Souls. She plays, I don't know, tell everybody, Avery, all the different games that you stream. I know you're streaming a bunch of different ones right now, but if you're interested in game streams, go check out Avery Santos's channel. She's on most days doing some gaming. So let's see. So since my job deals with sensitive topics, including PTSD, I felt this story might interest you also. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Mozfari was telling me that this song has to do with PTSD, which is a major issue for veterans. My job, I don't know, some of you may or may not have heard that I do work in the mental health industry. We call it behavioral health now. It's kind of that name change to try and reduce the stigma. Saying that somebody's mentally ill has kind of a negative connotation behind it. But yeah, so we also, Cigna is a very forthcoming company in terms of helping out populations in need. One of our things is that we do have a hotline for veterans. So if you or anybody out there knows anybody that's a veteran and they're suffering with issues and they could use some help, tell them to go search Cigna.com, search for veterans, or you could just do a Google search for Cigna veterans, and you'll find information where they can call a hotline and they can get some help from Cigna. They can speak to somebody over the phone. They can talk to a trained clinician over the phone. They can get set up with some community support stuff. We've got clinicians and clinical social workers that can help them find resources if they're having trouble finding a place to live and all sorts of stuff like that. So definitely a cause that I'm very big about. We also have a response line for frontline healthcare workers. So it's not only veterans, it's veterans, first responders, and frontline medical care workers. So if you know anybody in any of those fields and they're suffering with problems, let them know that Cigna has some things that we can help them out with. We're here 24/7. Call our hotlines and there's help there for those people. So, definitely a cause that I back, and thank you, Mozfari, for bringing this to my attention. And, I'm definitely looking forward to this video and checking that out. So let's go ahead. Let's dive on in. Thank you, YouTube. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all of I'm seeing a lot of new suggestions in my video titled Your Suggestions Here. For the most part, people are really starting to follow that direction. So thank you so much for that. It makes things much easier for me. We'll be back to working from that bin tomorrow. We'll be back to working suggestions from that video tomorrow. Today's just kind of this little special day that we're doing these special suggestions. But thanks for everything you do. Thanks, Twitch, for hanging out and doing all the things that you guys do. So let's go ahead. Let's jump on in. Sabaton to Hell and Back, official music video. Let's get it. All right, let's pause this. I want to be able to read this. So in World War II, millions of soldiers went to battle far away from their homes, and many of those who returned faced an enemy just as formidable as the forces they fought on the battlefield. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, was usually treated with quite ineffective yet highly addictive drugs. One of the men facing the horrors of World War II long after the war ended was First Lieutenant Audie Murphy from Kingston, Texas. If you've not heard of Audie Murphy, go check it out. There's a movie based on his heroics. I believe he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroics. He actually he's in some movies. Audie does star in some movies. I think he may even be in the movie about himself. But there's a really good movie out there about Audie Murphy and his plights in World War II. So if that's something you've not experienced before, I highly recommend that. Not to be confused with Eddie Murphy. Yeah, for sure. Different guy, totally. So yeah. Let's go ahead and let this play out. I think it's about done. Like it.
A short man from Texas, a man of the wild, thrown into combat where bodies lie piled. Hides his emotions, his blood running cold. Just like his victories, his story unfolds. Bright, a white light. If there be any glory in war, let it rest on them like hail.
Yeah, that's from the movie there.
Cross the throne of Nazion, where no soldiers sleep and where hell 6 feet deep. The deathless wait, there's no debate. So charge and attack, going to hell and back. Of the 15th, a man of can-do. Friends fall around him, and yet he came through. Let them fall face down if they must die, making it easier to say goodbye. Right, a white light. If there be any glory in war, let it rest on men like him, who went to hell and came back. The throne of Nazion, where no soldiers sleep and where hell 6 feet deep. The deathless wait, there's no debate. So charge and attack, going to hell and back. Go gather round me and listen while I speak. Allah, where hell is 6 feet deep. And all along the shore, where cannons still roar. They're haunting my dreams, they're still there when I sleep.
Yeah, that's him. Mosfree, thank you so much for that. Okay, so this is, besides being something that, let me just say, I love the song. It sounded really good. The first song that I heard of theirs, you know, the audio was kind of poor. Cool stage setting and everything, but I had mentioned in that video that, like, the audio was kind of bad. It was kind of hard to distinguish things. This one was, obviously studio version. Their video version sounded really good. I really liked that. I liked the kind of the fife there in the beginning, and throughout the song kind of gives that, that battle march sort of feel to it. This is something that's very close to my heart. Not just because I work in the field of mental health, but also because my brother was a veteran of, my brothers were both much older than me. My mom, long story, we'll get into it at some point, but my mom had my brothers with another, they were my half brothers. She had my brothers with her first husband, and then like 17 years later they had me. My one brother was served in Vietnam, received some pretty bad injuries, physical injuries, and mental health wise, he definitely suffered with PTSD, which led him to lifelong addiction to alcohol. He saw a lot of crazy shit, didn't talk to me about most of it, did talk to me about some of the stuff that he saw. But it affected him for the rest of his life. I mean, he lived on the streets for a while. Fortunately, near the end, he got things back together. But he ended up dying due to complications from alcohol and smoking. That's been about 12 years now, since he passed. But, PTSD is very real, and it's something that a lot of people suffer with. A lot of veterans suffer with this, and it's, imagine your worst memory that you've had in your life, and then imagine not being able to get past that memory and reliving that memory every day of your life. That's what PTSD is. It's not just that they're having dreams about what happened. They physically feel and mentally feel like they are reliving that situation every day of their life. And it's horrible. I can't even begin to imagine what that must be like for some of these guys and some of the things that they saw. So, yes, support those people that that are veterans, that are first responders, that work in the fire department. My dad was a fireman his entire life. He saw things and told me of things that he saw that I can't imagine having to deal with that. People that work in hospitals, frontline hospital workers, they suffer with it a lot. If you know somebody that suffers with this, if they've not gotten help, urge them to get help. There are places where they can get help. There are ways to treat this. It can be made better. It can be treated. And so, yeah, just if you know somebody that suffers, or somebody that's a first responder or a veteran or whatever, and they need help, do what you can to get them help. If not, support groups, so you can support groups that support them. There are plenty of things that we can do as individuals to help support these individuals. It means a lot to me. So thank you, Mosfree, for suggesting this video. that was a good song, but an even greater message. So let's leave it at that. Thanks YouTube. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I definitely did. Thank you, Twitch. We'll be back with another reaction here in just a bit. Peace, everybody.